occupational forces and the genocidal ambitions that they have every legal responsibility to do so, and they have every moral right to do so as well. It is not only a matter of international human rights, okay? This is totally above board on that front, but it's also perfectly moral as well. You rarely ever get that situation, you know? It's legal, it's moral. There is nothing you can say or do about it, regardless of whether you are pro-genocide or anti-genocide. It doesn't fucking matter. You know, it is their right. Can you imagine telling like people who are being genocided, hey man, you shouldn't pick up that gun and fight back to defend yourself, defend your family. It's really fucked up. It's making it a lot harder for me to defend your humanity. It's making it really hard for me. You're kind of leaning into Israel here. Anyway, but let's get back to the Minneapolis shooting and the lies that are being spread everywhere, and the dangerous lies that are all over this news story, because a lot of people are actively propagandizing against trans people.
I'm going to begin with this terrible story, the deadly mass shooting in Minneapolis, and the families of the two children who were killed. 8-year-old Fletcher Merkel, we now know their names, 10-year-old Harper Moisky. Fletcher's father said this about his son, that he loved fishing, cooking, and any sport that he was allowed to play. Harper's family said in a statement that she was bright, she was joyful, and she was deeply loved. Police say that the shooter fired repeatedly into a church where children and adults were celebrating morning mass. They were in the middle of prayers. 18 other people were wounded. We'll have more on those victims in just a moment, but first we're going to go to Usher Qureshi. He's in Minneapolis. He's been following this investigation. Usher, the story is heartbreaking to all of us. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Gail. Well, law enforcement sources tell CBS News the shooter was in the church here at Annunciation Catholic School just a few weeks ago. The shooter told an employee the visit was to reconnect with faith. Investigators now believe the shooter used that visit to conduct surveillance ahead of the deadly attack.
Yeah. Major motivation here is, or the reason why the shooter targeted this church was because he was a part of this school, this part of the congregation as well. So like that's at least according to law enforcement, the latest updates is that. One thing that I find particularly strange, by the way, is that they're saying that there was no discernible motive, which I find very odd. And I think the reason why they're saying that is because like the shooter's politics, if you're not tapped into the fucking brain rot in a lot of these like super radical, edgy, meme adjacent, esoteric, white supremacist neo-Nazi circles, is like impossible to contend with. You're like, I don't understand. It's brain breaking for someone like myself, and I'm fucking brain rotted, right? I know all this shit, and it's still brain rotting when we dive into the underbelly of the Order of Nine Angles and all of those other like subsidiary decentralized terror cells that operate on Telegram, also known as broadly Terrorgram, right? So it's difficult to have, you know, boomer vision on this kind of thing and then try to make sense of this, because it just comes across as so senseless, even if you are knowledgeable about like where this comes from, right? So I do still think that this is inappropriate for the law enforcement authorities to say that there's no like decipherable motive here beyond like wanting to kill children. That's what they said, because it is a part of the radicalization funnel, if not at the direct edge of the radicalization funnel. Like this is the complete edge. Like this is even beyond like the Nick Fuentes groypers and shit like that you see on Instagram, on Twitter, and all over these places. Like these guys are even crazier than they are, where their goals are to just basically do these kinds of mass shootings. So, you know, this is unfortunately not something that passes the bus driver test, and therefore a lot of people are failing to cover this in the correct way. Having said that, there's also obviously the charlatans, mostly on the right, that have used this as an opportunity to hit back at trans people and shit like that, and claim that this is an issue born out of transness, when the shooter, by his own admission, is a detransitioner, most likely, okay, and was clearly right-wing, like demonstrably right-wing. They're saying this is like a lib trans person that wanted to kill Donald Trump and was woke or whatever, and that's why he targeted Christians. All of that is bullshit. Okay? All of that is fucking complete bullshit, because the shooter was a detransitioner, very clearly in like the firmly committed to like the far right space of politics. So, where the fuck were we? Let's continue. We'll talk about the security incident. Here is Barry with the NED. Bonzer Barry. There are early reports of a difficult security incident in Gaza. Israeli platforms claim there are fierce clashes underway and the evacuation aircraft was targeted with machine gun fire. Early indication of a possible dead occupation soldier among the wounded. Occupation media, difficult security incident in the Gaza Strip and evacuation of wounded by helicopters under fire, Al-Aqsa TV. Reports of the killing of a Zionist soldier and injuries to others in a difficult security incident in the Gaza Strip, says Al-Aqsa TV. Also seen that the occupation soldiers may have belonged to the Nahal Brigade. The situation in Gaza is difficult and the army is calling for more evacuation helicopters, Palestinian platforms citing Israeli media. This is reportedly evidence of the clashes. Machine gun fire can be heard throughout the video. Okay. A strong ambush targeted a battalion belonging to the Nahal Brigade in the northern sector, and it is known that the brigade operates in Jabalia and Beit Hanun with the Netza Yehuda Battalion, Palestinian platforms report. Reportedly, the sound of the arrival of additional evacuation helicopters at the location of the incident. Israeli platforms claim 5 helicopters have participated. Occupation media reports of a second security incident in the Gaza Strip from Al-Aqsa TV. A number of occupation soldiers were killed in a double ambush in the northern sector, Palestinian platforms say, possibly Zaytun again. Hebrew sources say 3 difficult security incidents in the Gaza Strip. That was from an hour ago. Now seeing a lot of reports with 3 possible security incidents occurring in Gaza. For the first time in a while, it's become very difficult to discern what is happening and where. I will update as I learn more. Abu Ubaida said this a few hours ago. Our Mujahideen are on high alert, fully prepared, and in high spirits. They will present outstanding examples of heroism and steadfastness, and with God's help, will teach the invaders harsh lessons. This is from Abu Ubaida, spokesman for Hamas. I think, is he the general secretary? Anyway, both Palestinian and Israeli platforms say that 1 or 2 of the incidents are still ongoing an hour later, which means the clashes are ongoing, which means the clashes are still happening. What is a security incident? A security incident means like the occupation forces actually were on the ground and are getting they're getting targeted, they're getting possibly killed or at least wounded, possibly gravely. The diaper brigade is getting their diapers removed. That could be one interpretation of the events. I'm seeing reports that there are currently 4 missing genocide soldiers. Then they think that the resistance forces, the Palestinian resistance forces, might have actually captured either dead or alive 4 Israeli occupation forces as a mechanism of having additional leverage over prisoners of war, basically, as a mechanism of leverage over the Israeli government in the ongoing back and forth, where the Israeli government clearly does not want to abide by the standards set forth that are totally reasonable by the resistance forces. Israeli media: Hamas fighters spotted our forces with night scopes, and the army is deploying more troops amid violent clashes. The death toll is rising. Many of the injuries are described as serious/critical. Confirmation that one of the rescue forces was targeted by the Al-Qassam Brigade fighters. Occupational media: several Zionist soldiers killed in a large ambush in the Al Zaytun neighborhood east of Gaza City. The first event occurred in Al Zaytun neighborhood, the second in Al Sabra neighborhood, the third in east of Hamad in Khan Yunis. Lots of reports indicating that the Al-Qassam brigades attempted to capture prisoners, and Israel is still implementing Hannibal. Additionally, some people claim a search operation is still ongoing. Oh, shit. So they fucking, oh, damn. So Israel is full tilt, blowing up their own soldiers, as opposed to allowing them to become prisoners of war in the hands of Hamas. Okay. Platform for settlers. The army is searching for 4 soldiers who went missing in the Zaytun neighborhood south of Gaza City. This is from Quds. Loss of 4 soldiers in Gaza, says Al Aqsa TV. Hebrew sources say an extremely severe incident, one of the most significant since October 7th, says Quds. Yeah. This is from Mint Press. Breaking a 3rd ambush on Israeli forces in northern Gaza. Israeli soldiers dead and wounded. Hebrew media is talking about the triggering of the Hannibal Directive, meaning attempts to capture the soldiers. They have, for the last couple of weeks, Al-Qassam brigades and Palestinian resistance forces, specifically their special forces, because they have a command structure, they have special forces, have actually targeted occupational forces and their positions all around the strip, specifically in North Gaza and central Gaza, where they are not only targeting them to try and, kill the occupational forces, but targeting them specifically with the goal of extraction. They want to take more prisoners of war. If you recall, I showed you guys a video a while back, like maybe from a couple of weeks prior, where they straight up had stretchers, where they were like going to take prisoners of war that they had wounded, and they failed to do so. So they are still very much alive and kicking and resisting against Israel's genocidal occupational force. It is pretty crazy that, like, you sign up for the Israeli military and you're like, my government will fucking kill me if I am caught. And you're like, I still want to kill so many Palestinians. Like, I want to kill them so bad. I want to kill Palestinian children so bad that I'm going to sign up to a military force that will actively shoot and kill me if I'm caught. This morning, Major General Raul Biran, commander of the Special Forces Brigade 401, fell in an ambush in northern Gaza. The leadership continues to send soldiers into dangerous areas. Yeah, I don't know how the fuck. I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is valid or not. I don't know if this is, I mean, I guess it must be. It's from this morning. Major General Raul Biran, commander of the Special Forces Brigade 401, fell in an ambush in northern Gaza. The leadership continues to send soldiers into dangerous areas. Germany tells nationals to leave Iran. Wait, what the fuck? That's weird. But I don't understand how these guys even remotely are entertaining the notion of a permanent military occupation over the Gaza Strip. It is very clear that 23 months of genocide have actually not taken away from the ambition for emancipation that Palestinian resistance forces have. They're still fighting. They're literally still fucking fighting. Getting captured by Hamas is worse than death? No, I don't think so, actually. I mean, it is for the Israeli government's objectives, because they know that when there is an IDF soldier that gets captured as a prisoner of war, then Hamas and the Palestinian Resistance Forces have a better leverage. It creates more stress. Additional families get involved in the ceasefire demands. And also on top of that, it is a direct blow to the confidence that the Israeli government has tried to present, which is that they're actually very successfully destroying the militancy. Yeah. I don't understand that thought process. Won't this just embolden the talking heads? Wait, what? Who will amp up more genocide in Gaza? First of all, there are plenty of people who are doing that regardless of whether there's resistance or not. And secondly, no, there is nothing more wrong than this. Israel has shown time and time again that the only thing that they respond to is retaliation. The only thing that Israel responds to, the only way that Israel ever stands down is retaliation. And also, it's a genocide nonetheless. Whether people support it, whether people don't support it, it doesn't really matter. It's a fucking genocide. These people have a legal right to resist the